Hello everybody, welcome to 2CTV, your global news channel. I'm Maya Tusi, and this is your breaking news coming from Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran and the IRGC leaders are once again in crisis as a number of explosions and targeted attacks on the Iranian regime leaders continue. This is now being confirmed over the last few hours by Reuters and Iran International. We have the latest videos that we're going to show you in regards to some of the targeted attacks in Tehran and also in Hamadan and a couple of other cities across the country. The air defense system was once again activated. The attacks against the IRGC continue to escalate, and of course we're going to get your reaction live during this live stream as well. So first things first, it's now been 7 days, over 7 days since the so-called ceasefire. The IRGC took control of the streets. They have checkpoints everywhere, even though they seem to be all over the place. The sentiment coming from people inside the country are saying that we don't actually know who is in charge. Everything is falling apart. Businesses can't really operate. Having said that, the attacks, the mysterious attacks against the IRGC, obviously partly by Mossad operatives using drones on the streets, but also the element of the anti-IRGC, all of them are continuing their attack. People are complaining about the sound of the background noise. Okay, so it seems like I'm supposed to be melting down, so I'm going to turn off the fan. The whole point of this was that so that I don't really die, but apparently it's not going well. So there we go. Better now? Happy? You happy that I'm gonna melt down like a snowflake? Better sound, right? So as long as you guys are happy, I guess. All right, so let's talk about, I can see the live chat, by the way. Let's show you the first video, the reports of the early reports a few hours ago. Air defense activity and explosions were seen by residents in the skies over the capital. Let's go to that. پدافند You can see the flicker of the lights towards the end. Now, of course, these are not your regular all-out conflict. So when somebody starts filming something, it's usually a one-off attack and then they move on. Usually these are drones that the air defense system is trying to intercept. Then we started getting the updates about yet another apartment building block that was targeted, precise attack, which held a number of allegedly IRGC members inside. Then we're going to talk about what happened afterwards, because this has now been confirmed about a very surprise attack at a meeting. But let's go to the next video first.
ساعت 12 بامداد 10 تیر ماه دود غلیظی که از جنوب تهران مشخصه اینجا نسیم شهر بعد از صدای انفجار که صدای پدافند اومد این دود خیلی شدیدتر بود، الان ضعیف شده. احتمالاً نرسیده به تهران هست.
Yeah, so that was the, we put the subtitles for you guys in case obviously you don't understand Persian. Now, then, the updates came. Now, of course, Reuters and Iran International have already verified and confirmed the reports of these attacks and the explosions and the air defense activity across the country, but specifically in the capital. Then we started getting the reports of mass casualty event in Tehran, a drone attack at an IRGC meeting. I don't know, I'm guessing. I mean, all IRGC meetings are secret. The report says secret IRGC meeting, but all meetings are secret at this point, so I'm not really sure why that needs to be said. We only have a few seconds of this, unfortunately. This just shows the crowd outside after the explosion. So you can see the emergency services have already arrived to control that situation. Several people have reportedly been killed and a number of them have been injured. We will find out exactly the names of these individuals. I am now officially melting. Thanks for that, guys, for that feedback. Now, local residents also started hearing several large explosions within the last hour near Hamadan, which is in the western part of the country. Let's go to that video because there's so much to cover when it comes to all the anti-IRGC attacks. I can see the live chat is a little bit divided between turning on the fan, but it's not a fan, it's an air cooler, so it's supposed to be a little bit quieter than a fan. Half of you are saying don't turn it on because the background noise. The other people saying don't melt down. So I'm not really sure what to do. You guys decide whether I should turn it on or not. Anyway, let's focus on Hamadan, of course, and what the IRGC have been doing on the ground in the country. Also, I just saw a live chat message. Someone said, is this now or is it a while ago? I'm live. You can literally say it says live on YouTube. It says now happening. Anyway, the Iranian regime have been arresting people left, right, and center. They have now arrested several European nationals in various regions over allegations that they were cooperating with the Jews, and has obviously opened a number of cases against them as well. The judiciary will be acting quickly this week to do their usual kangaroo courts, to do basically their 5-minute, 10-minute trials, and all these people who are either European nationals or dual citizens, European and Iranian, they're all now in massive trouble. Now, some of them might be operatives against the IRGC, but some of them could just be people who don't like the IRGC. That's basically the majority of people in Iran, but they have to arrest some people to be seen to be doing something because the whole country is falling apart and nobody's flying into the country, nobody's flying out, apart from some of the family members of the IRGC who have left, but they have to be seen to be having things under control. They can't keep having drone attacks and everything else and checkpoints on the street if they're not making arrests. So unfortunately, a lot of people who are being arrested, they might not actually be guilty of being operatives against the Islamic Republic, but they're still going to be punished regardless. Now, of course, Netanyahu and Trump are making progress when it comes to the wider conflict. Gaza apparently they're still on track to complete the mission in Gaza by just over a week from now, which means by completing the operation in Gaza, they mean either kill all the Hamas operatives and leaders or send them into exile, and then the Arab nations will come and take control and rebuild it. But the Prime Minister Netanyahu is now going to be visiting Washington next week, well, in the coming week, basically, to meet with the president. And now, of course, all the ongoing operations in Iran by Mossad operatives simply means that this so-called ceasefire is not really a ceasefire. We are somewhere in between a Cold War and an actual all-out conflict. So it's a bit of a warm war right now that's going on. Meanwhile, the Crown Prince of Iran in exile, Reza Pahlavi, continues his campaign. He has now officially set up a communication network with between himself, his team, and the members of the armed forces in Iran who have defected from the Islamic Republic. They are now communicating, they are coordinating. Reza Pahlavi himself is also now very busy going around the world to meet with the world leaders and, of course, parliamentarians from across the Western world to ensure that they know that there won't be a power vacuum in Iran. There is already an opposition and people are getting behind Reza Pahlavi as their leader to bring back democracy and sovereignty. He is, as we speak, in London. Earlier today, Reza Pahlavi visited the Houses of Parliament in Westminster. He met with a number of MPs. He also met with Boris Johnson, former Prime Minister. Not really sure what they talked about. But this was the reception he received earlier on in London. Obviously, a number of his supporters also came out.
شاهزاده بیا عقب آقا 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 بیا عقب آقای محترم بیا عقب آقا بیا عقب بچه‌ها بیاید عقب
The fan is on now, so stop complaining. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now getting an update of the Iranian regime's air defense system has now been activated. This is in the towards the border between Iran and Iraq. Let's go and see. We have this video, which is very dark, but I think we can hear something. Let's just see. All right, so we're just waiting to get more information about the identity of the IRGC leaders who have been allegedly eliminated. I mean, if they were all in the meeting, they're all gone. That doesn't necessarily mean that they were, for example, the actual head. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the supreme leader because he's still in a bunker. We don't even know. We actually don't know how Ali Khamenei is currently doing, because we only saw him in a video, recorded video, a week ago, or a few days ago. And even in that video, which he made it in the bunker, he didn't look fine. He definitely didn't look good. He didn't sound good. Since then, we haven't really heard from him. There have been statements on behalf of his office, of course, but nothing directly from him. He hasn't been able to attend any of the funerals of his good friends who have now been eliminated either. I'm sure his supporters and the family members of those IRGC leaders are asking, where is our strong and stable supreme leader who's telling us that we have defeated the Jews and the Americans? Apparently Iran is victorious. Somehow the supreme leader is still hiding in a bunker like a rat. So how is this a win? Anyway, so we're still trying to find out what's going on with Khamenei. He's old, he's got cancer, he's unwell, he's stressed. I'm really worried about him. I won't be surprised if he just dies in there without him being assassinated. Anyway, while we wait for more information, let's get some reactions from you guys. People in the super chat saying, fan on, please. Turn on that damn fan. Too bad on everyone else. I know just some people just kept complaining. Turn on the fan or we will send in the ice. How is that gonna help? You can't deport me just because I'm not turning on the fan. I did put it on the lower settings, so hopefully it's not too loud. I thought I bought the best air cooler that was supposed to be quiet. Apparently it's not that quiet when it comes to the microphone. The microphone is so good, that's the problem. Turn on the air cooler. Too hot, not too. I know, I was struggling. I love how this is basically the main conversation right now in the live chat. The end of the mullahs is near. Oh yes, it's coming home, guys. This is the final countdown. I've already planned my flight to come to your Iranian pub. Should I push the date out? Much love to you and everyone at 2CTV. Too poor to donate. You don't have to donate. Also, you just did with the super chat. Why would you do that? If you're too poor, stop spending your money on super chats. But obviously, the most important thing that we're going to be doing while I'm getting ready to open up the first British pub in Tehran after the revolution, there's something else we're doing. There's another revolution that we are launching on the 9th of August in central London. We are launching the first ever international new media conference. Oh yes, it's coming home. The new media conference bringing on all the, well, not all of them, some of the new media outlets out there around the world coming to us. Book your tickets now. It's running out. 2cevents.tv. Unfortunately, I believe we've already sold out the after party tickets, but the general standard tickets for the conference and also the VIP breakfast networking, if you want to come and meet me and the others, will be available. Get it now, immediately, 2cevents.tv. This is the beginning of the revolution. Trust me. Firstly, it's going to be a fun day. Book your tickets to London. Bring your stab vest so you don't get stabbed. It's fine. And we'll give you guys all the information. Just check out the website, 2cevents.tv. You'll find out exactly what we are up to. Anyway, so any job offer available for developers in London? Well, not from me, but I'm sure there are other jobs. There will be. There's a lot of jobs for the developers. Anyway, I'm not the job center. Stop saying Supreme. He is no pizza. Oh, you just ruined pizza for me. I never thought about that. And actually, Supreme is my favorite when I order from Pizza Hut. Oh, well. What is going on here? Oh, no. This is worrying. The United States has just declared that a fat T-word on Iran. They are sending Rosie O'Donnell in. Lord have mercy on their soul. You don't nuke when you have Rosie O'Donnell. And I'm not insulting her appearance. I'm insulting her personality. Yes, she is literally like nuclear, and not in a good way. Imagine sending Rosie O'Donnell. Actually, that could be part of the negotiations. Iran, can you take her in, and we're not going to attack you anymore. Not a bad deal. And Iran, I think that's supposed to say Iran. There is a thing about the education system in America, not everywhere. The United States of America has some very good schools, but it also has some very, very bad schools and bad parenting. For some reason, some Americans, not all of them, say Iran. It makes no sense. Like iPhone. Instead of Iran, they say Iran, right? So the whole joke about Iran started because some people used to actually say Iran. And makes no sense why. It's literally Iran. But anyway, so and Iran's so far away, and Iran all night and day, they couldn't get away. So all the Iran jokes, which are actually kind of funny now, because there's so many different types of Iran jokes, were only created because some Americans, for some reason, started saying Iran. All right. In the US, even the peasants have air conditioning. I know. That's one of the reasons I'm envious when it comes to the United States, especially the warm states like Texas or Florida as well. Because we are a little bit behind in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The houses are built in a way to keep you warm in the winter, but in the summer they turn into ovens. So even with a normal fan, it doesn't really work. So air coolers are kind of slightly better, as long as you keep putting ice in them every 10 minutes. Will you have Iranian food and British beer? Well, the beer has to be, we're going to bring proper British ale. Yeah. It's supposed to be a British pub, so he's going to have British ale. So English ale proper. But otherwise, yeah, food-wise, no, it's supposed to be a British pub. We can't serve Iranian food in a British pub. That's treason against His Majesty. Anyway, how widespread is the anti-IRGC resistance? Is it only in the cities, or are the rural areas also involved? Well, we did hear earlier that about 300 Kurds have also been arrested in the outskirts. This is basically closer to the western border of Iran. These are not in major cities. These are small towns and villages. Of course, the crackdown on the Kurds, just like the crackdown on the Jews in Iran, is just symbolic for the Iranian regime. They just blame everything on them. So the reality is that not all the Kurds, not all the Jews, not anybody who's just in Iran is going to be making a move against the Islamic Republic. Obviously, a lot of them hate the Islamic Republic, but doesn't necessarily mean that they're all somehow Mossad agents. But the Iranian regime doesn't actually care. So they have also arrested a huge number of other people, not just in cities. So the resistance exists, but the reality is that the crackdown is stronger right now. More super chats. All right, so I think we may have some comments from the members of 2CTV Plus. Of course, if you want to be a member of 2CTV Plus, you also get access to our chat forum. Go on 2C.tv and also download the 2CTV app, the home of geopolitical news. Become a member of 2CTV Plus by going on 2C.tv. The link is also down here somehow on the screen. And of course, you get 1 month free. If you join as an annual subscriber, you get access to all our documentaries, chat forum, our podcast, many other things as well. For now, let's go to some of the beautiful members, see what they are talking about. Do you think that the Iranian people will be able to take control? How is your dad doing? Is he taking part? You really think I'm going to admit that my father is doing anything in Iran while I'm doing a live report about Iran and some sort of uprising against the Islamic Republic? No, my dad is just living his life. Okay, I'm not going to go around saying my dad is doing this, is going down. They will kill him. So now, everyone join 2CTV Plus is a great deal. Yes, okay. Scrolls Away says that the sooner the IRGC falls, the better. It will be a much more stable world without them, and also more stable region and country in general. Anyway, what else we have? Turn the fan back on. It's on now. Don't worry, guys. What? Hang on. We have someone. We have an interesting creature. I know I'm supposed to be looking at the members' comments, but there's a non-super chat. What is it saying? Who the hell says the Crown Prince is the rightful leader at the Constitution of Iran? When the king dies, his son, his eldest kid, will become king. That's usually how it works. His dad was put in office by the US and Britain. Literally not. The opposite. Oh my God, I'm going to explain that in a second. He is just as much scum as the current regime. Again, this is what happens with the Western education system being taught by liberal, weirdo, wokey teachers over the last few decades. All right, let me teach you history. There was a king called Reza Shah. He was the first in the Pahlavi dynasty. This is about 100 years ago. He took over from the previous dynasty. That was a bit of a chaos. Basically did a coup and took over, right? He was king. Then he died. So his son, Mohammad Reza, became king. Okay? Now, the reason for that, towards the end of his reign, the first Reza Pahlavi, Reza Shah, the Brits didn't like him, kicked off. So the Brits actually pushed him out. So their son was like, well, I'm supposed to be king. So he became king. The problem for Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, who's the last king of Iran until 1979, the guy he's insulting, he had a problem. When he became king, he was young, the rightful king because he was the crown prince. Britain was controlling the south. Russia was controlling the north of the country. BP had a massive influence. So the Shah, the young Shah, picked up the phone to America and said, can you come and help me? Kick out Britain and Russia. Then we could become allies and friends. And America helped. Told Russia and Britain to, obviously with Russia it became complicated, but with Britain say, just move away. We're going to make our own oil deal and everything else. The issue with this was that as Iran became stronger and the Shah became more independent and got close to Israel, obviously, Persians and Israelis, historic allies, the latter group, in terms of the towards the end of the 1970s, The US Democrats didn't like it. Jimmy Carter didn't like it. The deep state in America didn't like it. They wanted the Shah to be a puppet. So they were like, okay, so we have to get rid of him now. What do we do? There was a group of people who were causing chaos on the streets. And that was the communists sent by the Soviet Union. The Americans were like, well, we don't want the Shah anymore because we can't control him. And Iran's very powerful. And then we don't want the commies. So let's go and help that old man in Paris who's in exile, Khomeini. He looks like an idiot, but he looks like Santa. We could sell him as your religious leader. So CIA, with the help of France and MI6, helped the Islamic Republic, well, the Islamic revolutionaries, to do a paramilitary coup against the king of Iran with guns on the streets. They took over. Jimmy Carter's plan backfired. Next day, the Islamic Republic, the IRGC, came on the street and said, death to America, because they knew exactly what they were planning to do. Of course, all this came out 20 years ago after the files were released, that CIA was training them and helping them because they didn't want, of course, Iran to remain independent and strong partner. That was one of the main reasons this happened. Then what they decided to do, they decided to gaslight the public. For decades and decades, the education system in the West went with the propaganda to make sure they whitewash everything that CIA did. So they said, okay, so we're going to go and say that the Shah was actually our puppet instead of us betraying him. And the Iranian people did a revolution, a popular uprising. Obviously, that wasn't the case. It was a small group of people with guns on the streets, Islamists, killing people, and including communists. But they lied about everything. So that's why idiots like this guy, Jim, literally thinks that the king, who was the crown prince, the son of the original Shah, he came out of nowhere and the US and Britain just found him on the street and installed him. No, it's Iran had constitutional monarchy, okay? You have the constitution. When your dad dies, you, as prince, you become king. And to answer that question, the crown prince right now, he's the rightful king. That's it. That's how it works. Oh, dear God. That was exhausting. Anyway. This is what happens when you don't listen. All right. There is a couple of super chats, and I'm going to go to the members again. If I ran, you better run. I swear. I now understand nudists. Postman got a shock though. All right. Respectful agreed to disagreed is a beautiful feature of 50-something Generation X, but tolerant, permissive support of woke extremism needs to end. I think I agree with that. Now, going back to the members, what are you guys talking about? Oh my God, there's a meme. Maya right now, just so we can have better sound. I love, who made this meme immediately? The fan is on. Put a sponge on the microphone to stop the, but I don't think that's going to help actually. I can try. Well, no, because I had the dead cat things. Oh my God, is that supposed to be me? Great. You can sit on a big cake of ice. That's not going to help the head area. Install ceiling fan. Yeah, but I don't own this house. I can't just like ruin the ceiling. That's the problem. Yeah, if you think people are basically allowed or afford to buy a house in London these days, good luck with that. The Crown Prince needs to tighten security. I agree. You think I'm bad when I go to central London without security? He's worse. He does. He has technically people around him, but I'm not really sure if they can have the ability to take down the enemy. Please keep the fan on. Rather a bit of a noise than you having a heat stroke. Where would I get my reliable news? Okay, there's a lot of comments about the fan. Drink some cold water. Actually, I've got my water. I forgot to drink it. Oh, I need more. That was good. All right. Last known picture of the Supreme Rat. Supreme Rat. There we go. Got a new nickname for Ali Khamenei. Okay, the rest of the comments are mostly about the fan as well. All right, so we're going to find out the exact details of the assassinations shortly. Of course, the Iranian regime are currently busy sorting out their mess on the streets. Obviously, the emergency services are still around trying to do their investigation to find out exactly what's happened. We don't know how many have been killed and how many have been injured. The only report we have from the local media in Iran is several killed and several injured. That's all we know. It's still early hours. We'll find out later on what has happened. Don't forget, get your tickets to our new media conference on the 9th of August in central London. Go to 2cevents.tv. Get your tickets immediately. And as I said, don't forget to download the 2C TV app, the home of geopolitical news, from your app stores, Apple and Android and all the usual. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya 2C and we are the media.